3 टेक्निकल सेशन हुए थे। जो पहला सेशन था वो होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन के ऊपर था, दूसरा जो सेशन था वो मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन के ऊपर था और थर्ड जो सेशन था वो मल्टीपल एग्जिट एंड एंट्री के ऊपर था सर। तो इसमें सर मैं कुछ इन तीनों के ऊपर अपने थोड़े से व्यू रखना चाहूँगा जो आज के वेबिनार में थे। होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन सर, होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन मीन्स ऑल राउंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट। मीन्स जो स्टूडेंट का डेवलपमेंट है वो ऑल राउंड होना चाहिए, सिर्फ एजुकेशन के सेक्टर में नहीं, एजुकेशन के अलावा उसका वोकेशनल डेवलपमेंट भी होना चाहिए, मोरल डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए, वैल्यू बेस्ड डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए, ठीक है। मीन्स उसका पूरा ऑल राउंड डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए चाइल्ड का, उसको आता है होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट। ये सर जो एनईपी 2020 है डॉक्यूमेंट, ये बहुत ही एक इम्पोर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट है ऑलराउंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ चाइल्ड का या स्टूडेंट का। इसमें जो 21st सेंचुरी है सर, 21st सेंचुरी के लिए ये एक बहुत ही इनोवेटिव मीडियम है। इस इनोवेटिव मीडियम मीन्स ये जो होलिस्टिक और मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन है, इसके थ्रू जो हम स्टूडेंट का है बहुत सारे एरियाज में उसका डेवलपमेंट कर सकते हैं, जैसे साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, मैथमेटिक्स, लिबरल आर्ट, ह्यूमैनिटीज, लैंग्वेजेस, सोशल साइंस। तो ये जितने भी सेक्टर्स है, इन सभी सेक्टर्स में स्टूडेंट का डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए। अभी वाली, इससे पहले वाली जो पॉलिसी थी, तो उसमें इस तरह के सिस्टम थे कि पूरा एक साथ ऑलराउंड डेवलपमेंट चाइल्ड का नहीं हो पाता था। लेकिन जो एनईपी 2020 है, इसमें इस तरह से इसको सेटअप किया गया है कि जो चाइल्ड है उसका ऑलराउंड डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए, सभी सेक्टर में उसका डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए। और जो दूसरा है मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन, कि बच्चे का अगर, स्टूडेंट का अगर डेवलपमेंट होता है होलिस्टिक, तो ये किस बेस पे होगा? तो इसके लिए सबसे मेन इंपॉर्टेंट है मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन। अगर ऑलराउंड डेवलपमेंट करना है तो इसके लिए यूनिवर्सिटीज, कॉलेजेस या जो स्कूल लेवल है, तो इस स्कूल लेवल पे या जो हायर स्टडीज लेवल पे है, डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट्स अवेलेबल होना चाहिए स्टूडेंट के पास में, कि वो उन सब्जेक्ट लेके उसका ऑलराउंड डेवलपमेंट हो सके। जैसे मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन जो है, उसके लिए जो स्कूल्स है वो एक अपॉर्चुनिटी प्रोवाइड करा सकते हैं। जैसे जो मिडिल लेवल पे जो क्लासेस चलती है, उसमें बहुत सारे सब्जेक्ट्स रख सकते हैं, जैसे टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट रख सकते हैं, जैसे एक नया अभी आया है आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, उसको रख सकते हैं। इसके बाद में जो हायर सेकेंडरी लेवल पे है, तो इसमें बहुत सारे अलग हम डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट रख सकते हैं। इसमें एक फ्रीडम ये दी हुई है कि इस बार मीन्स इस एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में ये एक फ्रीडम दी है कि कोई भी स्ट्रीम वाला स्टूडेंट कोई भी सब्जेक्ट ले सकता है। जैसे साइंस वाले स्टूडेंट है वो ह्यूमैनिटीज के सब्जेक्ट ले सकता है, ह्यूमैनिटीज वाला जो स्टूडेंट है वो साइंस के भी सब्जेक्ट ले सकता है। मीन्स एक कॉम्बिनेशन ले सकता है कि वो साइंस, मैनेजमेंट और ह्यूमैनिटीज, इन तीनों में से कोई भी कॉम्बिनेशन ले सकता है वो सब्जेक्ट। पहले इसके ऊपर बाउंडेशन था कि जो साइंस वाले स्टूडेंट्स है वो कुछ पर्टिकुलर ही सब्जेक्ट्स ले सकते हैं, जैसे साइंस वाले तो मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स, बायो ये ले सकते थे। लेकिन अभी जो न्यू मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच आया है, इसमें यह है कि मल्टी डिसिप्लिन हो सकते हैं, मीन्स कोई भी सब्जेक्ट वो साथ में ले सकता है, मीन्स वो कॉम्बिनेशन कोई भी हो सकता है। और एक जो थर्ड था सर पॉइंट, थर्ड जो सेशन था, थर्ड सेशन था मल्टीपल एग्जिट एंड एंट्री। मल्टीपल एग्जिट एंड एंट्री के ऊपर सर मल्टीपल एंट्री और एग्जिट में ये बताया है कि जो कॉलेज सिस्टम है या हायर एजुकेशन है, तो उसमें बहुत सारे लोग क्या करते थे पहले, जैसे अगर कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाई एजुकेशन, या 1 साल कोर्स किया, 2 साल कंप्लीट किया और उसके बाद में उनकी अगर स्टडी छूट गई, तो वो उनकी जो डिग्री है या एजुकेशन वो वेस्ट जाती थी। लेकिन मल्टीपल एंट्री और एग्जिट में ये रखा गया है कि अगर कोई स्टूडेंट एडमिशन लेता है कॉलेज लेवल पे, और जैसे मान लो 4 साल का कोर्स है, तो वो किसी भी समय छोड़ सकता है कॉलेज को और किसी भी समय फिर वो एडमिशन ले सकता है। जैसे 4 साल का कोर्स है, तो उसमें सर उन्होंने अलग अलग कैटेगराइज किया है। जैसे कॉलेज में या यूजी डिग्री है, उसमें एडमिशन के लिए उसके जो क्वालिफिकेशन होना चाहिए 10+2 मीन्स 12th होना चाहिए। और अगर 4 साल का कोर्स है और उसमें अगर वो फर्स्ट ईयर कंप्लीट करता है, तो उसको एक सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा। अगर 2 साल कंप्लीट करके फिर वो छोड़ देता है कॉलेज, तो उसको एक डिप्लोमा मिलेगा। और अगर वो 3 साल का कोर्स कम करता है तो उसको नॉर्मल डिप्लोमा मिलेगा। और अगर 4 साल का अगर पूरा कोर्स कर लिया उसने, तो उसमें रिसर्च भी रहेगा और उसकी फुल डिग्री वो कहलाएगी। मीन्स वो किसी भी ईयर पे अपना छोड़ सकता है कॉलेज। अगर मान लो उसने फर्स्ट ईयर में छोड़ा है कॉलेज, और अगर वो 2 साल बाद एडमिशन लेता है तो उसको सेकेंड ईयर से फिर एडमिशन मिल जाएगा। और दूसरा उन्होंने इसमें रखा है एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट। एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट में ये रहता है कि हर साल के लिए कुछ क्रेडिट्स डिसाइड किए। जैसे फर्स्ट ईयर के लिए 36 क्रेडिट है टोटल, मिनिमम 36 है और मैक्सिमम 40 क्रेडिट हो सकते हैं। और इस तरह से अगर 4 साल की बात की जाए तो टोटल हो गए 1044, सॉरी 144 क्रेडिट्स, और मैक्सिमम होंगे 160 क्रेडिट्स हो गए। तो ये क्रेडिट सिस्टम पे बेस्ड है ये नया वाला सिस्टम। इसमें अगर रिसर्च बेस्ड जाना है तो इसमें जो सीजीपीए है न्यू सिस्टम, तो उसमें कम से कम 7.5 से ऊपर होना चाहिए, तभी रिसर्च में जा सकते हैं। मीन्स जो फोर्थ ईयर रहेगा उसमें रिसर्च तभी मिल सकता है जब 7.5 सीजीपीए रहेगा। सर ये कुछ पॉइंट्स थे। आज का जो सेशन वेबिनार हुआ था उसमें 3 सेशन में होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन, मल्टी डिसिप्लिन एजुकेशन, मल्टीपल एंट्री एंड एग्जिट, एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट के ऊपर ये कुछ पॉइंट्स थे मेरी तरफ से। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Sri Biraj Chetri, sir, PGT Economics, to share his views. Biraj, sir, over to you.
Good afternoon to respected principal, sir. Sir, am I audible? Okay, sir. And good afternoon to respected vice principal, sir, and good afternoon to all my dear colleagues. With due permission of principal, sir, I would like to start today's presentation. Before starting my presentation, I would like to tell that whatever has been discussed in today's webinar, whoever has attended it, you must have seen that most of the discussion has been on the higher education side only. So I have gone through the few documents, NEP documents, and tried to find out this multidisciplinary and holistic approach at school level. So I would like to give a different presentation altogether. I'll do it quickly. It might take a bit more time, but I will try to end it quickly. Thank you, sir. So first of all, let me present this. Okay. So is the screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So before going into the details of holistic or multidisciplinary, I would like to point out on the meaning of holistic. As simple statement wise, word wise meaning is that considered as a whole thing rather than a collection of parts. So the main aim of this holistic education is the all-round development of a child or a student, and this both approaches has some roots in our old education system, which we are proud of, that is universities of Nalanda and Takshashila. There this multidisciplinary approach was followed, and in the same university there used to be different disciplines taught. So multidisciplinary education, according to Bana Bhatta, involves this kalas like singing, painting, scientific fields like chemistry, mathematics, physics, vocational fields like carpentry, clothes making, as you can see, medicine, engineering, and soft skills also, which are communication, discussion, and debate. The same thing has also been pointed out by World Economic Forum as the 21st century skills. As you can see, it has categorized it into 3 categories: foundational literacies, competencies, and character qualities. And under foundational literacies, as you can see, literacy, numeracy, scientific literacy, ICT literacy, financial literacy is totally a new thing. I, being a student from economics, being a teacher of economics, am also not that much aware about the financial literacy. If it comes in our school system, it is going to be a very good thing, because uh, if we can teach our students regarding how to use money properly, how to earn more money using the same amount of money, is something that student will also be interested in. And this financial literacy is also required for us as well. And competencies, as we can see: critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, communication, collaboration, and character qualities like curiosity, initiative, persistence, grit, adaptability, leadership qualities, social and cultural awareness. So based on this, and amalgamating it, mixing it with our traditional cultures, this new education policies has tried to means mix this both the things and come up with the new ideas. And now, talking about the school education system, there will be slight changes now. As most of you know, there will be 4 stages of education now at school level. Foundational stage will comprise of 5 years of the age group 3 to 8, and then first 3 years will be pre-primary school, like pre-nursery schools. We can uh, think of like KGs and all, and 2 years in grade 1 and grade 2. Preparatory stage, that is also known as latter primary stage, 3 years, grade 3, 4, 5, 8 to 11 years. Middle or upper primary, 3 years, 6, 7, 8, 11 to 14 years. High or secondary, 4 years, 9 to 12. Okay, this we all know, but we don't know much about what is there inside. Okay, in these stages, the foundational stage will comprise 5 years of flexible, multi-level, play-based, activity-based, discovery-based learning. Most probably textbooks will not be introduced at this level, as well as the various time-tested Indian traditions for cognitive and emotional stimulation of children. So here, the learning will be more on the play-based, activity-based mode, and it will not be based on the textbooks. The preparatory stage, that is class 3, 4, 5, will comprise 3 years of education, building on the play, discovery, and activity-based pedagogical and curricular style of the foundational stage. Same thing will be applied here, but gradual beginning to incorporate textbooks as well as aspects of more formal classroom learning. So slowly, the school system will come here at the stage of 3, 4, and 5. This, there would mostly be generalist teachers during this stage. Still, there will be no specific subject-based teacher here. Possible exception of some specialist language and art teachers. So language and art teachers might be a specialist one, but other teachers will be a general teachers. The aim of this stage is to lay the foundation for learning the skills like basic competencies which will come across, which the student will achieve during this phase will be reading, writing, speaking, physical education, art, languages, science, and mathematics. After this, we'll come to the middle stage, that is 6, 7, 8. Will comprise 3 years of education, building on the more formal pedagogical and curricular style of the elementary stage. Now, slowly, the school system which we have right now will enter here. We'll see the introduction of subject teachers for learning sciences. Means here, science teacher will be teaching science, maths teacher will be teaching maths. Similarly, arts, social sciences, and humanities. Experiential learning within each subject means students will try to learn from their own experience as well. Explorations of relations among different subjects will be encouraged and emphasized. Interrelation between various subjects will be emphasized here. Now, if we come to the secondary stage, it will comprise of 4 years, 9 to 12. It will be multidisciplinary study. Here, the major change is here from 9 to 12. Greater critical thinking, greater attention to life aspirations, and greater flexibility and student choice will be here. In particular, students would continue to have the option of exiting after grade 10. They can exit after grade 10 and re-enter in the next phase to pursue vocational or any other courses available in grade 11, 12, including at a more specialized school if so desired. Each year of the secondary stage means this is just a proposal. Whether it will be followed in true spirit or not, that we don't know, but this is the proposal of NEP, that from 9 to 12, it will be a semester system divided into 2 semesters for a total of 8 semesters, which is a new thing. Each student would take 5 to 6 subjects each semester. It is not a year basis, but semester wise. There will be some essential common subjects for all. Common subjects means like physics, chemistry, sciences, mathematics, etc. But simultaneously, there will be a great flexibility in selecting elective courses. including arts, vocational subjects, and physical education. Here comes the vocational subjects, the role of vocational subjects from 9 to 12. And it is flexible, like in one semester you can choose one vocational subject, in next semester you can opt another vocational subjects, like that. The notions of higher secondary or junior college will be eliminated, and like higher secondary right now 11 and 12 comprise higher secondary, its notion will completely be eliminated, and 11 and 12 will be considered as secondary stage only. All stages will heavily incorporate Indian and local traditions. Here, the traditional knowledge is also given importance. So ethical reasoning, socio-emotional learning, quantitative and logical reasoning, computational thinking, digital literacy, scientific temper, languages, communication skills will also be focused on. Uh, reduce curriculum content to enhance essential learning and critical thinking. Now, curriculum is to be reduced here in order to make it more multidisciplinary and learning to be given more importance. Curriculum content will be reduced in each subject to its core essentials to make space for critical thinking and more holistic, inquiry-based, discovery-based, discussion-based, and analysis-based learning. So it will not be pen, paper, test-based, but it will be more inquiry-based, discovery-based, or project-based, like that. Teaching and learning will be conducted in a more interactive manner. Questions will be encouraged. Classroom sessions will regularly contain more fun, creative, collaborative, and exploratory activities for students for deeper and more experiential learning. Like in languages, we can include storytelling, etc. See, and here experiential learning will be adopted, including hands-on learning. Hands-on learning means learning by doing. Arts integrated and sports integrated education. This will be talked in detail by, I think, sports integrated education will be talked in detail by Naeem sir later on after 2-3 days. Storytelling based pedagogy. Storytelling can be included in all the subjects if we can include it more effectively, but we need a training for that as well. Uh, empower students to flexibility in course choices. I am talking only about school education right now. Students will be given increased flexibility and choice of subjects to study, particularly in secondary schools, including subjects in arts and crafts and vocational skills. Means other than core subjects will also be given importance according to the choice of the students. There will be no hard separation among curricular, extracurricular, or co-curricular, which is very important. Right now we have curricular and extracurricular or co-curricular activities, but in this NEP, it will be treated as the part of curriculum itself. So there will be no difference among this arts, physical education, or this science, arts, science, humanities, etc. Subjects such as physical education, the arts and crafts, and vocational skills, in addition to science, humanities, and mathematics, will be incorporated throughout the school curriculum, right from the first stage to the latter stage, that is fourth stage, be incorporated throughout the school curriculum. Now, next, multilingualism and the power of language. How will language play its role? And it is very important for us as a KV teacher because we serve in different parts of the country. So the medium of instruction until at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8 and beyond will be the home language, mother tongue, or anything we call it, regional language, mother tongue. Till grade 5, it is must. And if possible, it has to be extended till 8 to teach them in their mother tongue or local languages. The home local language shall continue to be taught as a language wherever possible. This will be followed by both public and private schools. There will be no differences between public and private schools. All the schools will have to teach local language as a language subject if possible. High quality textbooks, including in science, will be made available in home languages, mother tongue. On this, NCERT will be working on this to develop the textbooks. Teachers will be encouraged to use a bilingual approach, including bilingual teaching learning materials with those students whose home language may be different from the medium of instruction. Like here, we have English and Hindi, so we need to make learning materials in both, teach in both the languages. Curricular integration on essential subjects, skills, and capacities. Okay. Certain subjects, skills, and capacities should be learned by all. Instead of all this multidisciplinary approach, there are certain skills that needs to be learned by all the students. These are the main competencies that would be focused on, irrespective of which discipline they are taking. Okay, so what are those skills? Those skills are proficiency in languages, irrespective of which language, English or local or Hindi. Scientific temperament, scientific approach should be there. Evidence-based thinking, creativity and innovativeness, sense of aesthetics and art, oral and written communication, health and nutrition, physical fitness, collaboration and teamwork, as you can read, vocational exposure, ethical and moral reasoning, okay, knowledge and practice of human and constitutional values, gender sensitivity, which is very much important, fundamental duties, citizenship skills and values which associate with our constitution rather, knowledge of India, we should know about our history, our culture, etc. Environmental awareness as well, which is very, very important. Water and resource conservation, sanitation, hygiene, current affairs, and knowledge of critical issues facing local communities, states, the country, and the world. So here, basic skills which are required are not compromised with, irrespective of the discipline which you will choose. Transforming assessment, this is very, very important for us as a teacher. Transforming assessment for a student, how will we assess the students now? The progress card of all students for school-based assessment, which is communicated by schools to parents, will be completely redesigned. Now it is going to be redesigned by NCERT. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, please continue.
Okay. So it will be designed by INCERT or SCERT and shared with the states, UTs, and as well as KVS, NBS, etc. The progress card will be a holistic one. Now, since the approach is holistic, progress card or our results will also show that holistic approach. 360-degree, multi-dimensional report that reflects in great detail the progress as well as the uniqueness of each learner in the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. Now, not only just the marks is being shown there, you have to show the progress as well, and progress in different field as well. And uniqueness, what unique thing that student has also you have to mention there in the report card. Obviously, some trainings will be given on that. It will include self-assessment and peer assessment as well. Peer assessment is also included there. Progress of the child in project-based and inquiry-based learning, quizzes, role plays, group work, portfolios, etc., along with teacher assessment. Teacher assessment is also a part, but peer assessment will also be there. Self-assessment will also be there. The holistic progress card will form an important link between home and school and will be accompanied by parent-teachers meeting. Actually, this report card will when a parent see this report card, they will be able to figure out where their children stands. And same with the teacher. If a new teacher comes to that school, they will immediately, after seeing that report card, they could figure out in which field the students are excelling and in which field the student needs to cope up with. And next, the progress card would also provide teachers and parents with valuable information on how to support each student in and out of the classroom. Now, having said that, here the technology sneaks in. AI-based software could be developed and used by students to help track their growth through their school years based on learning data. How every time when we make the progress card, it will be fed into, I think, AI-based software, so that it will automatically try to figure out how the student is progressing, and it when a student will feed that his or her roll number into that, they could figure out where they are standing easily. Okay? So this is how technology is coming in our progress reports as well, in our assessment as well. And next is board exams. How will board exams change? We all are actually this year we all were a bit those who were teaching in 10 and 12, and also the parents were worried about why to give so much marks without giving any examinations. Now you can see the board exams are also changing. While the board exams for grades 10 and 12 will be continued, board exams will be redesigned to encourage holistic development. Board exams will also be made easier in the sense that they will test primarily core competencies rather than months of coaching and memorization. Any student who has been going to and making a basic effort in a school class will be able to pass and do well in the, as you can read. Now, if a student is coming to school and learning basic things, they will easily pass, because CBSE will now more come towards unit test based assessment. This year it is already 2 terms based assessment. Slowly the recommendations are that exams should be taken quickly after each chapters or each units, like that. Okay, wherever possible, maybe monthly basis, maybe periodic basis, 3 months basis, we don't know that. All students will be allowed to take board exams on up to 2 occasions now during any given school year, one main examination and one for improvement if desired. We should focus on this if desired. So there will be 2 exams. One is the main examination. If a student desire to improve that test, they can give it. All subjects and corresponding assessments, beginning with mathematics. We already know that in mathematics in class 10 and 9 there is standard and basic thing. This is going to be there in other subjects as well in near future. Board exams in certain subjects will be redesigned to have 2 parts. One part of an now we can relate this with our this year's board examination actually, which is going to happen. One part of an objective type with multiple choice questions, which is term 1 actually, and the other of a descriptive type. So this was already there in NAP, which CBSE is now going to implement. Next, to track progress throughout the school. Now, usually we all know that despite of school from class 1 to class 12, everybody is more concerned about 10 and 12 only because of the boards. Now that tradition will change, because to track progress throughout the school years and not just at the end of grades 10 and 12, all students will take school examinations in grades 3, 5 and 8. So there will be more 3 board examinations like thing which will be going to happen in grades 3, 5 and 8, which will be conducted by the appropriate authority. These examinations would test basic learning outcomes, so which is there, like reading, writing, all those things. The grade 3 examination in particular would test basic literacy, numeracy, and other foundational skills. So these tests are not for figuring out whether a student will fail or not, but it is just to measure their developmental progress. Next, I'll come to teachers. This is quite interesting because we are the one who are the main warriors of this new education policy. We are the one who will be implementing it at the grassroots level. So there has to be some changes at this level also. The primary goal of overhauling the service environment and culture of schools will be to maximize the ability of teachers to do their jobs effectively. The first requirement in this direction will be to ensure decent and pleasant service conditions at schools. Okay, these are adequate and safe infrastructure, including walking toilets, clean drinking water, all those facilities which are required, clean and attractive spaces, electricity, computing devices, internet, libraries, sports and recreation will be provided to all schools to ensure the teachers and students are, they are in more of their creative effectiveness so that they could deliver more for the students. And in-service training will have inputs on safety, health, and environment at workplace in schools to ensure that all teachers are sensitized to these requirements. To prevent the large amounts of time spent, now this you will agree with us, there are so many other than teaching activities. So this is put here very nicely. To prevent the large amounts of time spent currently by teachers on non-teaching activities, teacher will not be engaged any longer in work that is not directly related to teaching. In particular, teachers will not be involved in strenuous administrative tasks. So this is somewhere NAP has also realized this. So this has been put in there. Teachers will be given more autonomy in choosing aspects of pedagogy so that they may teach in the manner they find most effective for the students in their classrooms. So your classroom, your way of teaching is more accepted here. Teachers will also focus on socio-emotional learning, critical aspect of any student's holistic development. Teachers will be recognized for novel approaches to teaching that improve learning, means they will be rewarded with for bringing in more innovations. The harmful practice of excessive teacher transfers will be halted so that students have continuity in their role models and educational environment. So this is going to have some effect in our transfer policies as well. Transfers will occur in very special circumstances as suitably laid down in a structured manner by state UT government. Transfers will be conducted through an online, which we already have in our system. School complexes will be able to hire local eminent persons or experts as master instructors in various subjects such as traditional local arts. This also we already have in our system, but we need to focus more on this. For short time period, we can call some dance teacher, we can call some vocational teachers, like etc., just to cater those local traditions to our students. So this already has been there in KVS system, but it will now strengthened more, I think, because of the implementation of NEP. Continuous professional development. Now this is of quite interest for all of us. Teachers will be given continuous opportunities for self-improvement and to learn the latest innovations and advances in their professions. Each teacher, we all have to go through a 50 hours of continuous professional development every year. Continuous professional development opportunities will in particular systematically cover the latest pedagogies, means whatever latest changes has been coming, we will be aware of that. Like NISTA has already started the course last year, and this year also NISTA 2 has already come. So this type of, I think, this type of professional development courses we have to means attempt every year for 50 hours a year. School principals and school, not only us, but principals, for principals also there are 50 hours course in a year. So they mainly leadership courses and management skill courses. Career management and progression. So teachers doing outstanding work must be recognized and promoted and given salary raises to incentivize. Now performance based reward may also come in the future, which is not there in our today's system. Promotions may also be based on the performance based motive. We don't know how it will work, but there is certain suggestions regarding this also, recommendations regarding this also in the new education policy. A robust merit based structure of tenure, promotion and salary structure will be developed. Recognizing that the teachers will require training in high quality content as well as pedagogy, teacher education will gradually be moved by 2030 into multidisciplinary colleges and universities. Okay, so B.Ed will also be included in this a new term like multidisciplinary research universities. So they will be going there for B.Ed courses, not like us in which we were in independent institutions. It will not be like that. It will more be multidisciplinary now. Shorter post B.Ed, this is for us as well. B.Ed certification courses will also be made widely available at multidisciplinary colleges, universities, to teachers who may wish to move into more specialized areas. If we want to learn how to teach students with disabilities, how to learn leadership skills, we can always do certificate courses through this multidisciplinary universities, which will come in near future. I think this is my last slide. Thank you very much. This much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I call upon Mrs. Asa Kathwas, PIT, to share her views. Asa Kathwas, madam, over to you, please.
Thank you, sir. मेरी आवाज आ रही है सर? सर मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
माननीय प्राचार्य महोदय, वाइस प्रिंसिपल सर एंड HM सर और मेरे सभी साथियों, सबको मेरा नमस्कार। अगर देखा जाए तो इस वेबिनार का 80% से ज्यादा तो विरज छेत्री सर और खातरकर सर ने पूरा कर दिया है। अब थोड़ा बहुत जो है वो मैं बोलती हूँ, हालांकि ये सब चीजें हम लोगों ने सुनी थी और मैंने तो सर्च भी किया था NEP 2020 को। तो मैं इस NEP 2020 के जो उद्देश्य हैं उसको थोड़ा बताऊंगी। इसमें है जैसे एक ये समग्र बहुआयामी शिक्षा मानव के बौद्धिक, सौंदर्य, सामाजिक, शारीरिक, भावनात्मक और नैतिक सभी क्षमताओं को एकीकृत करके तरीके से विकसित करने की लक्ष्य रखेगी। इसका ये उद्देश्य है शैक्षणिक और गैर शैक्षणिक दोनों क्षेत्रों में प्रत्येक छात्र के समग्र विकास को बढ़ावा देने के लिए शिक्षकों के साथ साथ अभिभावकों को भी जागरूक करके प्रत्येक छात्र की अद्वितीय क्षमताओं को बढ़ावा देना है। इस NEP 2020 का ग्रेड 3 तक के सभी छात्रों को मूलभूत साक्षरता और न्यूमरेसी प्राप्त करने के लिए सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता प्रदान करना इसका उद्देश्य है। लचीलापन, ताकि शिक्षार्थियों को उनके सीखने के प्रक्षेपक और कार्यक्रमों को चुनने की क्षमता हो और इस तरह वे अपनी प्रतिभा और रुचियों के अनुसार जीवन में अपना रास्ता खुद चुन सके। कला और विज्ञान के बीच कोई कठिन अलगाव नहीं हो। पाठ्यक्रम और पाठ्येतर गतिविधियों, व्यावसायिक और शैक्षणिक धाराओं और सीखने के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों के बीच हानिकारक पदानुक्रम और बाधाओं को समाप्त करना है। समग्र शिक्षा एक बहुविषयक दुनिया के लिए विज्ञान है। सामाजिक विज्ञान, कला, मानविकी, खेल में ज्ञान की एकता और अखंडता को सुनिश्चित करना इस शिक्षा का जो है उद्देश्य है। अब इसके बाद मैं आती हूँ स्पीकर्स का जो हमने सुना है। पहले स्पीकर रमाकांत दुबे जी का। इनने बताया है कि सेशन इन क्लासरूम टू बी मोर इंटरेक्टिव, फन बेस्ड, enjoyable, creative with collaborative and exploratory activities होनी चाहिए। There will be no hard separation of, ये सेम जो मैंने अभी बताया था, separation holistic development will be ensured with a wide choice of subject and courses to be offered each year, appropriate circular and pedagogy लिखा है। Initiatives are to be taken all each stage, develop various important skills in student 21st century skills like artificial intelligence, mechanic learning, design thinking, holistic health, etc. ये इन्होंने बताया। उसके बाद में बद्री नारायण जी जो स्पीकर थे उनने बताया है ऑल राउंडेड, क्रिएटिव एंड इमोशनल ह्यूमन बीइंग हाँ, बद्री नारायण जी ने बताया है ऑल राउंडेड, creative and emotional human being experiences in important with knowledge. Mother tongue is important for exploration of self values, human and constitution, and important traditional modernity in calculated in NEP, self and other words. अब इसके बाद में सर अब मैं कुछ ये जो कुछ है इसका क्वेश्चंस है, जैसे कि व्हाई मल्टीपल डिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन इज इम्पोर्टेंट। तो इसमें बताया कि थ्रू द मल्टीपल डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच स्टूडेंट गेन अर्सेनल ऑफ स्किल्स, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, टाइम मैनेजमेंट, सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट, कम्युनिकेशन एंड राइटिंग, एनालिसिस एंड रिसर्च methodologies, teamwork and much more that are easily transferable across work environments. फिर है what is the holistic approach to education? holistic approach है education, वो क्या है? Holistic education is a comprehensive approach to teaching where educators seek to address the emotional, social, ethical and academic needs of students in an integrated learning format. Teachers often engage students in projects that apply critical thinking skills towards solving real world problems. तो ये कुछ थे सर जो मैंने नोट किए, बाकी तो सर ने कंप्लीट कर दिए हैं। मैं अपना वक्तव्य यही समाप्त करती हूँ।
Thank you, ma'am. Friends, much have been discussed by our three speakers, and we know NEP 2020 is new for all of us, but holistic and multidisciplinary education is not a new concept for all of us. It is not like an alien for all of us. As Biraj sir has already told, actually we were practicing this approach right from the ancient time. In our Nalanda and Takshila University, we saw scholars from the different corners of the world. They used to visit India. They received education. In India, and they were taught more than 63 disciplines, more than 63 subjects. So this shows how we were implementing this approach right from the beginning. So holistic education we are following right from the beginning, and even today also. Sorry. And talking about the multidisciplinary education. So multidisciplinary education means here we have to we have to improve our we have to improve our knowledge level today to make the child to face the challenges of the future. See, here it doesn't mean that we have to prepare the students for simply receiving the merit certificate, etc. Actually, we have to prepare the students to face the challenges of the future, challenges of the world. So this is only possible when we follow a multidisciplinary approach in our subject. So whatever we are teaching in the class, it is very important to connect the knowledge what we are teaching to the children with the other disciplines also. So despite being the expert in our own discipline, we have to earn the knowledge of other disciplines also, so that we can of other subjects also, so that we can connect that knowledge with our discipline, with our subject, with our topic what we are teaching in the class. Here I would like to share my own experience about the lack of multidisciplinary education. See, when I was studying in 10+2 standard, and I opted computer science in 11th class, and very soon a new stream was introduced in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, hotel management. And some of my teachers suggested me and some of my friends to go with that stream, as that was new and more job oriented. So some of the students we switched our stream to hotel management. But after the completion of 10+2 certificate, when I went for the college education or graduation, and I was interested in science subjects. I had interest, so I opted in 11th also computer science. But here, when I went for BSc, I was asked to bring the permission certificate from Jivaji University. And when I went to Jivaji University, they didn't provide me permission certificate for BSc course, because I didn't have science subjects in my certificate. So this shows a child suffers when he didn't get his subjects of interest. So here multidisciplinary approach will help to the children to choose their subjects of their interest for the higher class, and for their career for making their career also. So both the concepts have been already discussed by all three speakers. I would not like to take your much time. So with the permission, with the due permission of Principal Sir, here I sum up this webinar. Thank you very much everyone for attending today's webinar. Thank you very much once again. Now you can leave the meeting.